Continuing learning objective 2, if a partner contributes property to a partnership, like I said in the last video, probably not going to have any gain issues there. You just have to know how to handle what's the effect on that partner's basis in the partnership. This example right here, Nicole contributes land, fair market value of 120, has an adjusted basis of 20. What amount of gain or loss would she recognize in the contribution? Well, none. There's no gain or loss, and this built-in gain will just be deferred until she effectively sells her partnership interest. Suppose that this company, this other partner, contributed equipment with a fair value of 120 and a basis of 220. What amount of gain would they recognize? None. Well, gain or loss. You can see they're in a loss position. The value of the equipment is less than the basis that they had. So if they were to sell that equipment, that would be a loss, but you don't get to recognize any of that loss either. Here is where the book discusses the partner's initial tax basis. Their basis in the partnership is called outside basis. The partnership's basis in its assets is called inside basis. So we distinguish between those two because there's two different calculations that go on. We're primarily concerned with partner's outside basis in this chapter. So that's what these next several situations are all about. What is the partner's basis in their interest? So assume that Sarah contributed 120 in cash to this partnership in exchange for her partnership interest, and that the partnership had no liabilities. What's her outside basis? Well, it's 120. It's the amount of cash she contributed. Here's where she contributed land with a fair market value of 120. The basis is only 20 though, so then her basis is only 20 in the partnership. So it's called a carryover or a substituted basis. Whatever your basis was in the asset, that becomes your basis in the partnership interest. Debt also affects basis for a partner. There's recourse debt and non-recourse debt. Recourse debt is debt held by a partnership for which at least one partner has economic risk of loss. So this is basically if a partner is guaranteeing the debt personally. Non-recourse debt, there's no specific partner that has guaranteed the debt. So in this case, non-recourse debt is spread among all of the partners. So there's sort of a pro rata allocation of basis based on non-recourse debt. Each partner will get a percentage of the debt based on their ownership percentage in the partnership. You can see a summary of that right here. An example, each of Sarah and Chan's contributed 120. The partnership also borrowed 60 from a bank. They required them to personally guarantee the loan, so they're all guaranteeing it. They're each responsible. How much of the bank debt was allocated to each member? Well, since they each guaranteed a third, then they each have $20,000 of that $60,000 debt allocated to them. So they're treated as recourse debt. If only one member would have guaranteed that, then all $60,000 would have been allocated to that one person. For instance, assuming the 60 is only CC, if it's their only debt, what is Sarah's initial basis in her CCS interest after taking her share of the bank debt? So Sarah's her basis would be 140 then, because she contributed cash of 120. That gives her basis, and her share of the bank debt gives her more basis. Okay, so that would be her initial basis of 140. I'll continue in the next video.